Hi, this is Julie, your host here at Roofers and Contractors Podcast. I am so excited that you're here watching this video, and today we have our seven-figure roofing guest, Elmer Miller, with us. Elmer, pleasure to see you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Julie. Yeah, I'm Elmer, the owner of Liberty Roofing, 24 years old, and be ready to listen up and dive in. Yeah,
Tell me about your business. Like, what type of roofing do you do? How did you get into it? And what are like some of the biggest goals you have for Liberty Roofing?
We do commercial, we do residential, we do all types of roofing. People ask me like, what type of roofing do you do? And I'm like, whatever you want.
So if I'm a customer and I come over and be like, hey, Liberty Roofing, SOS, I got an emergency roof thing. You're going to come over and you'll tell me exactly what I need to fix and you'll go do it?
You got it. We have people out there within 24 to 48 hours for estimates and stuff. And then if, you have leaks and stuff like that, we have somebody out there within, sometimes within 12 hours, 10 hours.
Wow. What's the shortest turnaround time you've done for a customer because you, really wanted to help them?
Just 2 weeks ago, I had a friend of mine from church. He called me, and he's like, hey, I got this roof leak, and we just had a new baby, blah, 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 and it's coming in the baby's room. I'm like, okay, I'll have somebody right over, and I had somebody over there within 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, handshake on that. Yeah, that is Liberty Roofing principles.
So that was, so we have some quick turnaround, and then there's some, that they kind of, they can wait. So we kind of push them back, maybe a couple of days if we're really swamped. But other than that, we're just within 24 to 48 hours is what I normally go by. And
I think that speaks words to your brand and your company, that if someone's in a tight spot, you're like, we'll do it. We got you covered.
I think that's what makes us stand out from everybody else. We do things that nobody else wants to do.
That's it.
And I think, sometimes, you can make your biggest money from eating breadcrumbs. But those breadcrumbs, they lead to bigger jobs and projects and stuff.
Was there a breadcrumb experience that you had that led to a bigger job?
Let's see. We did repairs on this one roof for 2.5 years. $500 fixes here and there. And I kept telling them, hey, you need a whole new roof. And then they ended up signing a contract on a $600,000 roof. So it was...
$600,000!
Yeah, it's just...
But that was consistently, hey, we'll do your repair. Sure, we got you covered. And you need a new roof.
And that's what I mean by, it was commercial. So there's obviously more money or bigger money in commercial projects. But, there again, we do a lot of residential, and a lot of those residential jobs... Who owns commercial businesses? Residential owners.
Yeah,
right? So
that's true.
Or homeowners.
Yeah.
So a lot of those residential jobs. I mean, we're getting more and more into Columbus now, and there's a lot of big money people down there.
For the audience, tell us where you're located.
So we are located in Russell's Point, Ohio, and we travel the whole state of Ohio for commercial. And then for residential, we travel about an hour to 2 hours outside of Russell's Point.
Okay.
So we have a good coverage area. We did a job in Indiana. We've done jobs in Michigan. We've done jobs in Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
West Virginia.
Uh-huh.
So I've went out of state before. You got to be willing to do some stuff that you don't want to do to be successful in business.
Exactly.
But I'm working on relocating to Columbus from Russell's Point, just because it's a better area. Just got to finish, paperwork and all the stuff done, and then we'll be switching towns.
That is freaking exciting.
So.
Now, do you have a vision for your office you're gonna have?
Yes, I do.
Oh man,
it's hard to imagine what it's going to be.
Yep.
But in my head, I know what it's going to be. It's going to be, it's going to be a warehouse. It's going to be middle of Columbus somewhere. Liberty is a very unique name.
Yeah.
And that's why I chose that. A lot of people think we're a lot bigger than we are, just because of the name.
It is.
We're a very patriotic company. I mean, everything's red, white, and blue. That's what we go by. In January of this year, we started doing veteran discounts on everything.
Wow.
And so that makes us stand out a little bit as well.
For our audience as well, tell us what liberty means to you.
Liberty, that means freedom to me. For the audience, I think for freedom, we're in the roofing business, but also freedom. You know what we stand for.
Yeah.
You know who we are just by the name.
Yep.
We're not just some Joe Schmo company.
Yeah.
We stand for, integrity, freedom, patriotism, and all that. So by that means we take care of you as a homeowner.
Yeah, well, for me personally, stand for integrity, honesty, value, family. And I'm personally drawn to companies that have hardcore, not to say hardcore values, but they have standards and they hold themselves accountable. They're honest, they show up, they do the work, and if they make a mistake, they like, you know what, hey, I made a mistake.
Talk about not showing up. I sold last year I sold it was a $250,000 job. And the only reason he chose me was because I texted him and I told him, hey, I'm going to be 5 minutes late.
Wow.
And so just because of that, he gave me the job.
Wow. But see, that's the difference it makes.
You got to be willing to pick up the phone when you don't want to.
Yeah.
And so, because sometimes, you never know what that phone call might hold.
That's it.
That next phone call, that you don't want to pick up might be the next, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 job that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the one thing that some roofers struggle with is they're either not able to answer the phones fast enough or they just don't understand the value per phone call landing in their pocket.
Put people in a place for the phone stuff. Hire people and put people in a place so you have a quicker turnaround.
Yeah. Going back to like integrity and values, just because you admitted that you were going to be late, for some people, if they've had, customer service that's been below average, someone that goes above average, above and beyond for that customer, they're like, you.
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't even need to see the other 5 people. It's you.
Well, it's about that, but it's also, that shows the customer that I respect his time. And respect goes a long ways. Respect, and honesty. I think that's the number two things in business. Because, if you don't respect other people's time, you might as well just throw your name in the dirt and be like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. If you were to come into a different roofing company, what's 3 things you would tell them on honesty and respect?
Stand by what you say you're going to do. And that's, if you're going to tell somebody you're going to do something, you got to do it. And know, respect the homeowner's time, show up on time.
Yep.
Don't be there for 2 hours trying to sell them a roof. It doesn't take 2 hours to sell a roof. It takes me, the other night I sold one in 15 minutes.
Wow.
I showed up, threw my ladder up on the roof, looked at it, came back down, and before I even got up on the roof, I had it sold.
Yeah.
So
now that kind of brings up something interesting where you see roofers spending 4 hours with the homeowners, like hard selling.
It's high pressure sales.
Yeah.
And high pressure sales is some of the stupidest sales methods you can do. Yes, I understand you got to sell roofs, but you can't force somebody into buying something. And so you go to a dealership, you walk in there and they try everything in their power to get you to leave that lot with a new car.
Yeah.
If I go in and I want to buy something, they'll know I want to buy something because I'll tell them, like, look, I'm going to buy something today, but I'm going to get you the best price. Like, I'm not going to let you rip me off. But so I think that's something that homeowners need to be educated on. In today's society, there's so many people getting screwed over because there's a lot of shady roofers. And what happens is shady roofers, they put a bad name out for everybody. They do. So I think, if homeowners could be educated on who to hire and who not to hire, that'd be a huge difference.
So would you be pro having a system of sorts where all roofers have a rating based on performance and how well they've completed roofs?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You would be on board with that?
Oh, definitely. And I think, if my personal opinion, and this is for, I don't know who's out there watching. If they don't have Google, if they don't have Facebook, do not hire them.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they will screw you over and then they'll run off with your money.
Yep.
And you don't have no way of contacting them, or you don't have no way of letting the rest of the, the world know, like, hey, these people are shady. Okay. So, you can't leave them a bad review. You can't do nothing. It was all because my phone systems were down for 2.5 weeks. So we had one bad review, and I called him back and I said, hey, I will give you a discount on your roof. I said, it was my mistake. I said, we'll come out and fix it. And that roof is getting fixed. It got fixed yesterday.
Wow.
So,
and did they reverse that?
Oh yeah, they took it off. They took that review off, and I knocked off about $1,000 on their total. They were happy with it. An older couple. They were just upset because they got screwed over previously by another roofer. So they were upset, and they're like, "Man, these guys,
not again."
Yeah,
not again.
So that's why they did that, and they told me why, and we had an honest conversation about it because I'm a very open and honest person. Like, I'm very blunt and straightforward with people. I mean, I'm too straightforward with people.
But that's good.
But it's good because they get to know me.
What is one way that being too straightforward has served you?
You get to be too friendly with your customers before they buy. And then they end up not buying from you. You open up too much. People always got to wonder just a little bit about you.
Got it.
You don't open your whole can of worms on somebody. Just give them one worm at a time.
Oh, I see. So like kind of piecemeal.
Yeah. You don't high pressure sales. Have a relationship with your customer.
Yep.
Figure out what they want. Yep. Don't just stand there and talk.
Yep.
And they can't say a word. Do you want to buy something from me? Be like, hey, Julie, this is what we got, blah, blah, blah. And you can't say 2 words.
No, you need to ask me questions.
Right.
Because I don't know which roofing product I want.
Right.
I don't even know like how long it's going to take or what cost it is. So let me ask the questions.
Exactly. I would be like, hey, Julie, what type of shingle are you looking for? Are you
looking for that really bright, like white colored one that looks cool, like the marbled one? Which one is that?
Man, I love your ideas and stuff, but I wouldn't put it on my house because it just doesn't look nice.
Nice.
So it'd be like, hey, I'll get my shingle samples out and let's hold it up on the side of your siding.
Yep.
And then we'll pick and choose.
Ooh, I like that idea.
And it's just like, I'll work with you on this.
And then instantly, what I feel from this conversation is we're doing this together, and then I don't feel pressured to buy, but I probably will buy with you because you just made my life easier and you made roofing fun.
It's just, you got to be willing to ask the questions and then sit down and shut
Amen.
You got to learn. That's one thing in business. You got to learn when to shut up, and that's all you got to do.
I think you can oversell someone just by over-explaining, over-talking, and you're just quiet.
Yeah. A lot of time, the loudest person in the room is the weakest one.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, we could talk about that for a couple days.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably see that with business owners and roofers and conventions, right?
I go to this one roofing convention out in Branson, Missouri. And there's roofers walking around that act like they know everything. And it's like, dude, come on, bro. God, I can read right through you. I'll know who you are within 5 minutes of knowing you. I'll know if you're talking good stuff or if you're talking bullshit.
Right. Putting on a bravado to kind of think that you're hiding what you think other people are looking at. And then it's just like you put more attention towards that.
Exactly.
It'd be better to be like, hey, my business is this size. I'm learning. I'm here to learn. You would probably get more help. And you'd probably get a more successful roofing business than if you kind of put this little shingled wall up.
I think, it all depends, like, how people take me. They think I'm a very cocky guy. I'm not. I'm a very confident guy.
Well, that's how people take Grant Cardone.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Grant Cardone, but
nah, I love him.
He's loud.
He
but
changed. He
done.
changed my life. Like his book called "Be Obsessed or Be Average."
Yep.
The best book there is. I mean, I listened to that thing on repeat.
So let me ask you, when did you find that book, and then how did that affect your business?
So I started listening to that book it was that summer of 2021. I kind of, did some things I shouldn't have been doing, and I was still working for my brother. And then that fall, I think it was like November, I was just before I turned 22. I started listening to it. I was like, man, I got to change my life because I was still working for my brother. Yes, I had the business on, I was just doing it on the weekends. And when I started listening to that in November, and by January 1st, that's when I was like, yep, I'm done with my brother. I had 2 jobs. I had 2 jobs lined up when I went on my own January 1st.
Whoa.
Didn't have nobody working for me. I had like $2,500 in my bank account. I had a truck.
Yep.
Didn't have a trailer, at tools, and that was it.
Wow.
And going from there to now, it's like holy shit.
Well, that's a huge, I mean, because that's like, what, 3 or 4 years?
So it's been about 2.5 years.
2.5 years. I would assume, and just from the way you carry yourself in your business, you've been in business 5 or 6 years.
Why?
Because the way you carry yourself.
Well, how old do you think I am?
Well, when I first met you, I thought you were at least like 29.
No. I'm not.
Not that you look 29, but you carry yourself like you've been in successful business 5, 10, 15 years. Easy.
No, I'm only 24.
That is
and
what
it's just,
personal development will do for you.
It's just like a lot of people don't want to change. And I think when you're willing to change, that's when things really happen. And people are scared of change. Everybody sits there and says, but this, but then they sit there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They sit there and they watch TV for 4 hours and sit there and eat potato chips and drink a half a case of beer or something. Like, dude, get your fat ass off on the couch. Go to the gym for starters. And then everybody wants to sit there and they want to bitch about how hard life is. Dude, I came from nothing. 4.5 years ago, I left the Amish with nothing but the clothes on my back and $75 in my name. That's where I started. And, I don't have family. I don't have friends because I cut them off. When your circle of people that you hang out with, if they're not maturing with you, cut them off. Yeah. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be like them.
Well, it's like five people you surround yourself with.
And so what happens is when you cut people off, you get haters. And I love it. I love it.
So tell me how you deal with haters, because I think this is a common problem a lot of people have.
When people see you going somewhere that they're not, let's look at it this way, all right? So you're in a circle of people. Yep. And you're in the center and you're rising up the totem pole. Yep. What people are doing, the ones that don't want to come out of their comfort zone and rise up, they're sitting there and they're just chopping at your legs. It's like, ha, watch me, mother. I get better legs,
Oh, I like that.
I'll just build them up. Yeah. And that's all you got to do.
So you kind of turn that into fuel, like, you gotta
awesome. Use that to fuel your fire. Yep. Because if you don't, you look at it in a negative way. I used to let it get to me.
Ooh, okay.
But now, how I changed my mindset of how to deal with those people. Because it would just, I'd be like, man, what are these people going to think? And now I'll talk to whoever and however I want. And I'll post whatever I want on Facebook. I don't care anymore. And you don't need 120 friends in your life. Yeah. I got... Shit.
Can you count them on one hand or two hands?
I can't even fill up one hand. Yeah. I got maybe, let's see, I got my cousin. Yep. We're like brothers now. I got like 2 other people that we're like really close, and that's it. Yeah. Everybody else, like, they all just want to stay in that same level. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's okay to go out, bar or something, but don't sit there and get freaking trashed every night.
Moderation is anything in excess becomes dangerous. Mm-hmm. Like, even being passionately obsessed about your business, you could put in 17, 21-hour days and then you burn out 3 weeks from now. Like, so anything excess is where the challenge is. And a lot of people excessively get comfortable, excessively drink, excessively lounge, and then they complain about why their life is not where they freaking want to be, and they have these huge goals for their roofing or their construction
but they never do anything about it.
Exactly. So be obsessed or be average. I really like what you were saying about that, because that was when you made the decision, I'm assuming, that you were going to go all in.
Oh, yeah. And when you don't know what to do in life, you just jump in head first. That's all you got to do.
That's it.
And there's a lot of times in the last 2.5 years, what I mean by jumping in head first when you don't know what you're going to do. Yep. There's some jobs that we did, some projects that we did. I had no clue what we were going to do. I just slapped a number on it, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to make money or we're going to lose money. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a learning experience. And I think that's the number one mistake people make. I have people calling me. Oh, what would you do on this roof? What would you do on that? Dude, you're a roofer, right?
Yeah, you're a roofer. You should be the specialist.
I'm not your roofing coach. And that's something I want to start doing. It's like coaching people. Yeah, like teaching people how to put roofs on. I'm like, dude, you're wasting 2 hours of my time on the phone. I'm not getting anything in return. Yeah. And so you're going to start paying me.
Well, like, you got to think about your time as well. It's your energy, it's your focus, it's your results. And so if you're not focused on that, and you lose sight of your goal and what your results are, then people start to take your energy and your time. And in that hour that you're coaching someone for free, it's not even a paid service, they're not investing for themselves, you could have closed a $400,000 or $700,000 roof job.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And it's just, and that's the thing is like, I had one, so I'm in Ohio, right? And I don't even know this guy. Yeah. He messages me on Facebook one day. He sends me blueprints, a PDF for a brand new car wash. And he says, hey, can you tell me what type of roofing material I need, and how much I need, and how much would you charge? Okay. I'm like, what the hell am I getting out of this?
And are you gonna do his roof for him then?
I just replied back and I said, yeah. I said, I think I'm good. You're a roofer. You can figure it out yourself.
So when your competitor, and I wouldn't even say he's your competitor, but when you have someone in the same industry coming in and trying to get you to do their work for them, I think that's a lack of respect, and I think it's a lack of integrity.
It's disrespectful.
And so I think when you have respect and integrity for yourself, you can like kind of put a nice little mirror up. Like, behold, look in the mirror, go do it yourself.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine. He owns a roofing business about 30 minutes north of me, and he does nothing but shingles.
Yep.
And he's trying to learn how to do metal and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we kind of go back and forth and collaborate on different things. He's a little bit older than me, really great guy. So I'm more than willing to, if I get something in return, I'll start giving.
Well, yeah, it's
but
an equal
if I don't get
exchange.
nothing in return, dude, just go fly a kite, man.
Well, because it's like you want to think about an equal energy exchange where you guys are sharing knowledge, you're sharing wisdom, and it's a circle. But when it's not a closed circuit, it's like a battery getting flipped backwards and then put into the flashlight. It's just going to get drained out. But if the circuit's right between two people, then that circuit just keeps flowing and the energy moves.
What happens is, when you get things in return like this, I mean, he's given me jobs, I've given him jobs, and it's just something that we do. Because then you can help each other build. And I think that's what happens a lot of times in the business world. People are scared to get to know another roofer or another plumber.
Right.
If you're a plumber or whatever you are, they're scared to know that person or get to know that person because they think, oh, they're competition. Yes, they're competition, but guess what? You can get a boatload of projects and stuff from them as well.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people think it's a dog-eat-dog world. You're in it for yourself.
It's all up in
and
here.
It's BS. Maybe you heard that from your parents or maybe you heard that from someone. Where did you hear that, right? Where did that belief start? Because I think it's about collaboration.
I used to say that word. And it's all what you train your mind to speak. Like, oh, it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah. Then it becomes a dog-eat-dog world.
That's what it becomes. But when you say business is easy.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's actually really easy. Yes, it's hard, but the longer you do it, the easier it gets. In January 1st of 2021 or 2022, I was scared.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know nothing about business. I was just winging it. And I think that's what made me who I am today. Because when you wing it and you act like you know it, but you don't.
Yep.
You make mistakes, you learn from them, and you don't do it again, and you just move on, put it in the past, and don't drag the baggage with you. The first year I got screwed out of, I think I got screwed out of like 20, 30 grand. Crumble that paper up and throw it in the trash.
That's it, because you're going to make triple that. You're going to make because 5 times more. Like, what about 5 years from now? Am I going to worry about 30 grand now? Or am I going to think about the 5 times income, the life that am I going to focus on where I want to go or that money that's gone now?
Just move on and just learn from it. I've seen people get screwed out of 10, 20 grand on a job.
Yeah.
In Ohio, you don't need a roofer's license. You only need an LLC.
Oh, wow, okay.
So you can get licensing through the city. But other than that, people only have LLCs, right? They don't carry insurance. They don't carry workman's comp. Nothing. Okay. And they don't have contracts to sign.
Yeah. No contracts.
It's all verbal over text message, whatever. So there's no contract signed. They get screwed out of money. They don't have nothing to stand by. I used to do that.
It's on you because contracts are super necessary, and it takes maybe 20 minutes to get a contract template, fill it out, put your name on it, have your customer sign it.
It's very easy. It's not hard.
It's not. No. And so it's like that self-responsibility.
But people make it hard.
Yes.
Do you want your business? Do you want to take care of your family?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself that. And when you start asking yourself, I got a 10-month-old daughter. Yeah. And so I ask myself every day, what would she do if I was plucked out of this world today? Wow. Would she be set up for life? She'd be set up for, for a good half of her life right now. Yeah. But it's something where I want to make sure when I leave this world, I have done everything in my power to make her life better. Wow.
Wow. On that note, how do you think having a family and having that dependency in your life has affected your drive?
Oh man, it gives you somebody else to think about besides yourself. It was something where I had somebody to live for besides myself in those 13 months. And then after that, we had a daughter together, The first couple months was really rough.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you kind of, it's unexpected. And it's like, man, I was like, what am I going to do, right?
Yeah.
You're 24, you get cut off from your family, and it's just like, man, I got to start over, right? But you got to eat. Pressure creates diamonds.
That's it.
So like in the last, since January, I've changed from a whole different person to who I am today. Who I am today. It's for the better.
It is.
And I've had to cut people off because who I was then and who I am now, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, like,
because
think
I
about
care what people thought.
Well, think about your January self. It's like you need people that can evolve with you at the rate that you're evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like people like me, you, and some of these other successful business owners that have spiritual and personal development, there's very few people that can keep up.
Right.
And so you just end up with fewer friends.
And the people
but
that can't
keep
up, they're threatened.
Yes.
They're threatened, and then they're like, oh, dude, you're so cocky. You're so arrogant, blah, blah, blah.
See,
I get that so much.
They take your competence and your confidence as arrogance.
The church I was going to, I had some people walk up to me. They said, you're too positive.
Oh, are you kidding me?
You're too positive. I'm like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Well, you're too positive, like confident in yourself, and it makes you cocky and arrogant, and you just kind of throw off this like, you know, arrogancy, you know, vibe. And I'm like, shit in the pot or get off of it, dude. like, dude, it's like
when someone says that you are too positive, what does that reflect back to them?
Exactly.
Like if you were to put a mirror up, I like the mirror effect where you put a mirror up whenever someone's talking to you, and like you just imagine putting the mirror up in front of them, and so everything that they're saying is like just going back to them. And when you do that, it's like, what are they seeing in that mirror?
I started questioning myself.
Yeah.
Like, am I? And then I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a very confident and positive person. I mean, and when they see somebody like myself that comes across very confident and very positive, like, oh, this guy's arrogant.
Like,
dude,
like that can't be real.
Right.
Like, how could that be real? How could someone be blissed out and positive when I've seen the crap that they've gone through? Like, that just can't be real.
How are you so positive? You're 24. You've been, you know, you don't have family. You don't have, you only have a child. You're like, how are you acting like this? Like, how can, I'm like, it's all up in here. It's what you feed your mind.
It really is. So one question I had for you was, before you left the Amish, what would you tell that version of yourself? Like, what do you think was the key element that you needed to hear to create that catalyst?
Oh, boy. Don't be scared. And just, like, going back, it was just, I didn't know who I was. I don't even recognize that person anymore. I wasn't confident in myself. I couldn't be talking to another woman. I'd be just sitting there. I'd be stuttering the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, being, you know, your whole life being made fun of, being called a fat ass your whole life.
Yep.
And just, you know, growing up, we grew up in a rough family, rough household. I mean, I love and respect my dad, but man, he beat the shit out of us. Man. It made me who I am today. Everybody says, oh, are you so positive? Back there again? Yeah. It made me who I am today. And that's like so leaving the Amish and who I am now, it's what made me who I am. Yeah. And I think, like, going back to what would I have told myself, why didn't you do it sooner? Amen. Amen. Because you can leave when you're 18. Yeah. I waited till I was almost 20. And so, because I didn't want to hurt my family. Yeah. You think it's going to hurt more than it actually does. It don't. Yeah. It hurts for a little bit. I mean, it hurt for... It's like pulling the Band-Aid off. It stings. It still stings today. I mean, my daughter's 10 months old, and they haven't acknowledged her yet. So wow. So that stings a little bit, but you know what? I got a new family. I call them my family. Yeah. I brought my sister out here to Cali with me. Yeah, they're kind of my adopted family, but you know what? I'm closer to her than I was to my own sisters. Yeah. And I think that speaks volumes. It's when you have people that care about you in your life, you got to keep them close. Yeah. And this particular family, they have, they daughters, right? Yep. And so I'm kind of their brother. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So. I kind of play that role in their life.
I think you don't get to choose your family, but you get to choose your family.
Mm-hmm. It don't have to be blood. And I think a lot of times people get hung up on that.
Yeah. It's like, well, let me look at your DNA, and now maybe we'll be family. But no, it's really like you have to recreate your life. Mm-hmm. Especially when you've come from such a completely different environment, left the Amish, started your own business. You know, you have a little daughter. There's just like so much that has to transform in your life. And you can't drag people from behind you. You have to pull people from your future. Mm-hmm. And you have to pull family that matches your future as well.
You got to find people that built you up. Mm. And sometimes the people that tear you down the most is family.
Yeah.
Because, you're never going to do it. I was told that.
Oh, yeah. I think we've all heard this.
You're never going to make it. You're going to come crawling back like the little bitch you are, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? If my younger brother would leave the Amish today, I'd be like, dude, you need to start a business and I'll help you.
Yeah.
I want to see you succeed.
I think that's what
family is. But I think what
is.
happens a lot of times is family, when they see you succeeding more than they do, they tear you down because they, in their mental game, it's not evolving.
Yeah.
You know, it's staying the same. So when they see you achieving something in life, they just sit there and they try to pull the brake
the other
on
thing
you.
too is they have created an identity about who you are, what you do, and what you're capable of, and you're breaking all the ceilings on what they think you should be. Mm-hmm. And if they're not evolving, their identity's remaining like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the same person. They're the same person, and you're no longer the same person.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is like, I don't want to be the same person.
And why would you? Why would you?
Right.
Like, you would never want to go back.
You know, I never dreamt I was going to be in the place I am at today. It's made me into a better person.
Mm-hmm. Because when you actually heal a wound or something that's hurt you, and you transmute that and you heal that, it actually becomes a power that you can give to others. Mm-hmm. Because I can guarantee you there's more than just yourself. There's thousands upon thousands of people that have gone or are going through that experience, right?
People lose their whole mental suffering capacity and everything. Like they just sit there and they want to sit there and they want to talk about themselves, be like, oh man, how bad is my life? How rough is my life? Dude, yeah, it sucks. But you know what? You got to deal with it. You got to learn how to deal with it. Grown-ass men today act like a bunch of little pussies. They're a bunch of little boys anymore.
We need more men like you. You have really strong family values. I also have very strong family values. And what do you think the next generation needs to know for their mental health, their family, and their business?
Well, number one, if you...
And you have a daughter, too.
Oh, I get a lot of hatred for this one.
Well, let's go.
I don't believe in anxiety. I don't believe in depression. I don't believe in any of that shit.
It's labels.
It's all in a mental game. Yeah, they have anxiety like, oh my God, I can't stand the bright lights and stuff. Mm-hmm. It all comes back to something happened back when they were kids because of that, right?
Yep.
Depression. I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, they're so easy to pull that card.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go have me smoke me a cigarette because I have depression.
Let me give you some medications.
Mm-hmm. And it just makes it worse. To go to the gym, work out for 2 hours, and then tell me if you got depression.
I like
go
it.
to the gym, go work. Like for me, like when I can feel myself like be like, hey, it's like, man, I was like, man, this sucks. Like I was, I could feel myself going down. You know what I did? I went to the gym and worked out, and then went and worked. People, they sit there and they just ponder on something.
It's
and
over-identifying.
And so I think for the next generation, I think what needs to happen is they need to be willing to just go work, get in shape.
And I think that's another thing is people over-identify with their problems. They over-identify with beliefs in their head. Mm-hmm. They over-identify with labels. Like, oh, I have been labeled as XYZ problem.
It all comes down to a parenting issue.
Exactly.
It's where it all boils down to.
It does.
I'm a father, and it's just something where she's not going to learn what depression and all that stupid shit is.
Well, she shouldn't. I don't think you should teach your kids depression if it's just a label.
This is the question I have for every doctor out there. Did people back in the 1700s when America got, back when America got founded, right?
Yep.
Did they have depression? Did the people that fought the Civil War, did they have depression? Did the people that fought the World War II, did they have depression? No, they didn't. They went out and they were men. They dealt with the shit, because they were masculine men.
Well, like, let me ask you this, and this is going to be a trigger question, is what do you think to you masculinity means?
Be a man. Be a man and stand up for what you believe in.
So is it like standing up for what you believe in? Is it like protection and providing? Like what are the elements for you?
Stand up, protect, provide, and take care of your family. Like for me, I want a person, like today, I want a wife. This is how I'm old school. I want somebody that I can that's gonna stay at home mom. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because that makes me as a man, that makes me more masculine automatically. Because what a woman wants is she wants a man that's so masculine that when you're around me, Julie, you can shut your brain off and you just be a lady, That's what masculinity means to me. Because I don't know, I want to provide for my family. It makes a man feel more important. So I think for the next generation, I think, yes, if women want to have jobs, they can have jobs. But I think men can't step back. And I think in today's society, women make a hell of a lot more money than men do on a lot of households.
Yes.
and it's wrong. It's wrong.
Well, I think like also when you think about it in like a dynamic sort of sense, if men step back, then there's no support for women. And if a woman wants to have a child, they want to have a family, they want to have a family
they're the man of the house.
They're like,
it's wrong.
They have to do everything, right?
And it's wrong.
It's just like finding that, treating men how to like step into their masculinity and like how to actually hold a frame.
That's like, I look at it this way. Is God weak? No, he's not. He's a very strong person. And so I think, when you start looking at it that way, like for me, I guess as men can't be scared to level up.
Yeah.
Men can't be scared to go out and take chances in life. And I think what happens a lot of times is men, they just kind of live life and sit down and play their Xbox after work and be like, it's just life.
That's it. It's easier to turn off your brain than to keep it on. And I think that's what a lot of business owners deal with is all these other people around them trying to turn their brains off while they're trying to turn theirs on. They're trying to become more of a man or more of a woman. They're leveling up. And then the people around them are literally trying to turn themselves off. And I think that's why you have to cut your friends. You have to cut the people that are doing that out of your life. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to stay on.
Right. And so that's what I was getting ready to at was like, what happens is men, they're too scared to change their friend circle, and then they don't become masculine. Yeah. They're too scared to change who they are.
Well, because part of it, too, like men's circles, you're in a circle of other men, and you kind of have to leave the pack. You have to leave the pack to start your own pack.
If you're the best person in the room, get the hell out of there.
That's it. That's it. Getting in the right rooms. Showing up in the right rooms and learning from people. Like, if you're the best in the room, you're helping everyone else except yourself.
And that's how I changed. Was like I cut those people out and I started hanging out with successful people. Just like Grant Cardone says, the top 3 people you hang out with, that's who you're gonna be.
That's who you're gonna become. Yeah. Because it's just like the talking, the language, the learning, like all of that. It just your subconscious is like a sponge, and you're absorbing it regardless of what you think you're absorbing, I don't think you can say, if you asked any successful business owner that values personal development, that has family values, that goes against the grain of majority of society, they're not going to say they had it easy. Every single business owner has gone through some gnarly stuff in different ways to get to where they are now. And so it's like your journey, your process, and how you understand life. Like, to become successful, you have to overcome the darkness. You have to overcome the shadows. You have to face your shadow, look it in the eyes, and shine light on it.
If you can't get up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm a badass motherfucker, you're doing something wrong. They're back to what you said. It's all those dark times, all those mistakes, and all those wrong turns in the road that made them who they are. And I think, it's like for me, I got a long road ahead of me.
Yeah.
For who I want to become.
Oh, yeah. So tell me this, because I had a question I wrote down yesterday, and I was like, I absolutely must ask you this. Your billionaire self, the one that's making billions of dollars, successful company, amazing family life, personal development where you want. He sits down with you at the table. What does he say?
Oh man, that's a good one. I would say just, be willing to put the work in, be willing to go out and meet people, and just, always be willing to take that next step. And I think what happens is, like, you got to be willing to also chase an avenue that that's going to lead to success. And so for me, I'm in roofing. I'm looking at real estate right now. And I think that's going to be, like with those two, I think we're going to be setting pretty high on the horse.
Well, also, you have a construction type industry service, which means that you have real estate, you can do roofing on those real estate properties. I like what you brought up about really being able to take that next step and always going towards the thing that's going to generate results, because you can line up through real estate with your roofing and it's all connected. It's like that forward momentum and honing in on what your next level self is and being like that and nothing less.
When you don't know what you're doing, just jump in head first and do it anyways.
Boom, do it anyways. Do it anyways.
And so, because what's the worst thing you're going to do? Lose? What
are you going to lose?
Right. So it's just
what do you have not to lose?
Exactly. So that's like for me. I get called crazy all the time. I don't care. What do I have to lose? I started from nothing once. I'll do it again. And if you do lose, you can restart. And what's that going to do? That's going to make you better.
Yep. And also, because you've learned how to repeat your success, it's going to be easier for a millionaire to recreate that success than it is for someone starting at ground zero. So whenever you rebuild something, you usually end up rebuilding it better and faster and bigger. It's
all about people and systems. That's the best thing you can do. How I grew up, you did the work, you sold the jobs. That's how I grew up. It's not like this out here. So that's something I had to overcome. You can't be scared to put people in the place.
Like scared to put people in, like hiring?
I was scared to put people in a place to go out and sell jobs for me. I had to be one selling the jobs. I didn't trust them. What's the worst they can do is make mistakes.
They have to make mistakes to learn.
Exactly.
Right?
And
but then they could be the ones next year selling a $5 million roofing job that you didn't have the connections to make because you were doing something else more important in the business.
Exactly.
And you gave them that task.
You can't be scared to put people in the place, and you can't be scared of change. We're changing some things up in my business. I used to be okay with cut off t-shirts. You can wear jeans if that holes in them, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, but is that going to get you multi-million-dollar jobs?
You're going to start showing up in polos and nice jeans or nice work pants or something. But
well, that's what's going to take you to the next level. And so what got you here is not what's going to get you to the next step.
What got me here was the old school method.
Right. And now it's time to put the new school in. So here's my last question for you. And that is, even Elon Musk has a question he asks himself to get himself into the right mode to make the right decisions for his business. And that is, will this get me closer to Mars or not? Do you have a question for yourself that you ask to determine what next step you're going to take in your business?
I always ask myself is like, am I fulfilling my purpose in life? I think when you ask yourself that, purpose is a big word to fill. And I think what happens a lot of times in life is people don't feel that purpose. When I'm on my deathbed, I think my worst fears would be I didn't do everything I could. You need to make sure you feel every purpose in life to where when you pass, you're at peace with yourself. Like for me, I'm at peace with myself because I've done everything I could to this point.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a long road. I had a long road to hoe in the last 4.5 years since I took that step out of the Amish to who I am today. But I think the next 4.5 years is going to be much easier because of what I went through these last years.
And I love how you wrap that up in a nice little gift box with purpose inside of it. Because we are a dash on our gravestone. Like we all going to pass away at some point. But it's like, did you do everything in your power? Did you do everything you wanted to do? Did you show up the way you wanted to show up?
There's a lot of times I didn't. But you know what? You just, there again, throw it in the garbage.
When you ask yourself that question, you get to dive in, and then, like, this is what I'm going to do.
I think when you get up in the morning and you can ask yourself, how am I going to be better today? It's all about routines. I think what happens is, in the beginning, you work for your business.
Yep.
And
you have a job.
And pretty soon what happens is your business starts working for you. And if that don't happen within 2 to 3 years, you're doing something wrong.
Well, that's the thing, is I see people 10, 15 years not having their business.
They're still doing the same thing.
And that's a problem, I think.
Yeah.
And so you're doing it now at like 2.5, 3 years. People and systems. Systems.
That's all you got to do.
You put it in place, and then you have a legacy. You create the legacy.
Since I started changing some of the stuff that we do and how we do it, it's a night and day difference. It's a lot better.
If we were to wrap all of what you've talked about today in a little gift box, like, what would be something you would want to share with other roofers that maybe have a business in year 1, 2, or 3?
3 words: don't quit and discipline.
I like it.
You know, you just don't quit. You never quit. You discipline yourself. That's one thing about business. When everybody else has Christmas, you don't have Christmas. When everybody else is celebrating their birthdays and all this stuff, you don't. You know, you work, and that's discipline. You're showing discipline to your business.
Yep.
I always say, where your mouth goes, that's where your money goes.
Yep.
So when you discipline yourself to cut all that out and focus on your business, I always say, Eric Thomas says, you got to be willing to go in the dark room and work on yourself and then come back out and shock the world.
Yep. Yep.
And what that means, I look at it this way, is like, cut all that stuff out, cut all the negativity, cut all the, the actual life stuff out.
Cut all the ropes on your air
just
balloon.
Focus on your business, and that's what's going to build you.
Amen.
So,
1,000%, $100 million agree with what you just said. That's $100 million.
Go down this rabbit hole now. Masculinity.
Yeah.
Grown-ass men out there celebrating their 30th and 32nd birthday. You're celebrating your 30th birthday. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You don't need, pink horses and flowers. Like, come on, bro. So,
you want $100 million.
So
right?
that's something
I mean, if you're in it to make impact, you're in it for legacy, you're in it for your family, it actually will serve you more to create legacy, create money, and create $100 million rather than, doing some of the things you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Pink unicorns.
It came to mind, and I just had to say
That's it. Well, that's who you are.
Yeah.
And that's why I have these podcasts.
I mean, it's something where, if you want to, Julie, if you want to throw me a surprise dinner, yeah, I don't care about that, but I'm not going to go out of my way to, like, oh, hey guys, I'm throwing a birthday party.
Hey guys, I'm throwing a birthday party. Everyone's going to call a roof. You get 5% if you close. And then we're going to celebrate with some pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
If you need to work, you can still have fun.
That's a good one.
That's what I would do.
That's a good way to do it.
That's what I do. Hey, it's my birthday. I'm having a coaching session with you. If you refer someone, I'll give you 5%.
There you go.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
That's it. How can customers and how can people reach out to you, Elmer? Like, what's the best way to get a hold of you if they want a roof done?
So, Google, Facebook, Instagram. I have TikTok. Let's see. I have something else I can. Yelp. I think I have Yelp.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I will put them in the description so they can come find you, get some roofing done, or invite you to other podcasts.
Yeah, I need to start sharing some of my personal stuff because I think that would help a lot of people grow, young people. So that's something I'm willing to do. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Elmer,
yeah. Hey,
absolute freaking pleasure, my man.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye-bye.